exhibition. We're super excited. We've got two Austin-based artists with us here tonight. And this is actually RTown Gallery's first ever jewel exhibition, so it's a special night for us. I'm Alex, I'm one of the artists here. My background's in art history, so I'll be leading our discussion tonight. This show's all about connection, whether it's through color, texture, or the stories woven into each piece. Hallie Rae creates fibrous light beams wrapped in colors. Each pair is a special poem, so you guys definitely need to check those out and read each one. They're fantastic. And we've got Shelly, just 3D paintings that have woven fabric together, so this really is all about connection. Tonight we're going to hear about their creative process, their inspirations, and how their pieces came together in this show. So we'll get started. So my first question is kind of towards to both of you. Tell us about your artistic journey. How did you get to where you are today? We'll start with you, Shelly.
Well, I'm self-taught. I did not go to school for art, but I've been painting ever since I can remember. As I was saying earlier, I used to like pick up anything I could paint on, draw on, any of that. And through, you know, when you're younger, you get to paint and have a lot of time, and then you kind of lose that a little bit when you get into the working world. And then in 2017 is actually when I started back painting. So, like making it an actual kind of ritual, if you will. So,
What spurred that return to painting?
I'm not sure. It's kind of like a compulsion. You know, I was always there because I would always paint whenever I had time. And then I don't know what happened. I just felt I was just at a different point in my life and picked it up again, and that was it.
Well, we're all the better for it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Hallie Rae, what about you? What's your artistic journey?
Yeah, so I grew up in Austin, Texas, and I was a big-time athlete, but my mom, Kim Ward, is an artist, and then my dad, Dave Ward, is a businessman. So I always had those influences around me, and I always wanted to own my own business, and I thought I'd own my own like surf and skate shop and maybe design my own like surfboards or skateboards. And then I went to Eckerd College in St. Petersburg, Florida. I played volleyball. I was gonna major in business management, and it's a liberal arts college, so I had to take an art class. So I took drawing, and I fell in love. And then I decided that this is what I really want to do. So I ended up changing my major to visual arts, minoring in business management, continued volleyball. And then my senior thesis, I had a solo exhibition, and that was the first time I really created my first body of work. And that's when I started to dive into my different mediums, and when I did that, that's when I really was like, this is what I want to do as my career, because that's when I did a piece called Different Strokes for Different Folks that was these globes I wrapped in fiber and had light in them. I did this huge 4-foot by 10-foot artwork with pipe cleaners imitating sort of called neon grasses, inspired from a video I had made where I stuck pipe cleaners in the sand on the beach and had them blowing in the wind, imitating seagrasses. And so from there, I've continued to evolve my work from that starting point. And here we are today at RTown with my positive glow light beams. So, yeah.
So I'm so glad to have you guys here.
Yeah.
And Hallie Rae, how do you choose the colors and patterns for each piece, and how does that connect to the poems that you write for them?
Yeah. Hey. So I first come up with I came up with the series name called Manifestation is a Lifestyle, and then I decided to and then it came to how do I want to title these pieces, and I decided to sort of have the titles be poetic as well. You guys can find a seat up here if you want, Pam.
That's okay.
Okay. These are my people. Hi, everybody. So I came up with the series name and then the titles of the pieces, and then I started to think about how can I portray the words, the titles into the colors and patterns, you know? So like this piece here, my dreams expand, my life is grand. I thought it's sort of when you start to have ambitions and dreams, then your life starts to expand into different possibilities. So this is sort of like the dream, and then the ripple effect of the dream that becomes a reality. And then joy, love, and understanding connectivity is outstanding. And I thought those colors really represented those 3 different words. And so yeah, I just so I could go through them all, but it's like I act on my intuition, I'm on my mission. So this is getting in touch with your inner voice, and then up here represents the mission, you know, and when you're on your true path of being true to who you are. And then I amplify my authenticity and increase my velocity. The red sort of represents the speed of when you become your truest self. You then, like, when you are clear on who you are, then the universe opens to your clear path, you know, of what your best life is. And then I am always curious, creating my experience. The word curiosity means to me, you know, like asking questions. And so this right here is representative of like the light bulb. And then the ripple effect of those questions. And then back to the first one, I am focused and aligned, training abundance for my life and mind. These two sections represent focused and alignment. And when you're, focused on what you want, when your actions are aligned with what you want, then it creates the abundance. And so, the abundance is representative in the other section. So, it's just, so that's why I love being able to have titles for my work so people can connect what the intention is with the colors that I use and such. But and obviously both of our works are a lot about energy, you know, and stuff. So.
Yeah, they're definitely both very dynamic bodies of work, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Shelly, tell us about developing this body of work for this collection and what influences your use of shape and color, because you've got a lot of like different variation on everything.
Yeah, so I started with primary colors because the use of primary colors, you can create any color from primary colors, right? And so I wanted to kind of get back to the basics and just like strip away anything that would be interference, I guess. And so, and just really let the color speak for itself and also the texture speak for itself. More of like a meditative state in a way. Whenever you look at it, any of the pieces, I feel that, you know, you're drawn more into it. You want to get closer to it because you see the texture, you see the color, but even when you look at it from afar, it does start to look like, you know, fabric pieces kind of woven together. And then just the bright colors. I wanted to kind of stay true to those bright colors because, you know, when you add a bunch of color or whatnot, it kind of gets lost. Like, you know, it kind of gets muddy and all that. And I just wanted everything to be bright and refreshing. And so that's just kind of where it stemmed from. And then you will see in all of the paintings that the threads are knotted and twisted and broken, and some are straight, some are, you know, not so straight. And it kind of portrays how we are as humans and humanity, and how what we go through in life, like, you know, love, loss, trauma, healing, all of the things. It's not just straightforward. So the color was more of like, hey, this is where we are right now. It brings you into the moment. But then when you look further into it, you start to see, well, there's more to it. Just like every human, there's more to someone than just what you see on the surface. And so that's where it came from.
When we're done, y'all are gonna have to come up and like take a real close look at these, because they do look just kind of like straight lines from far away, and then I'm like sitting right behind them, but you've got these little like curly cues happening.
Yes.
Like there's a lot of little surprises.
And so for finding energy, it's dual meaning for, you know, our exhibition. So find energy is not only about finding energy in yourself, but the word energy is actually woven into the threads. So you have to find energy throughout the painting as well. I am loved, which is the triptych down there, is also that. Love is actually intertwined in the threads in each triptych. So yeah, there's little, I guess, Easter eggs, I guess you could say, and some of them. So yeah.
I love this body of work.
Thank you.
And Hallie Rae, would you mind reading us one of your poems from the show?
I would love to.
Getting us a little
Let's see. Okay, so yeah, each light beam comes with a little poetry book. I always write poetry with my work. I've always written about my work, and then in 2021 I decided to write poetry, and that's when it really clicked for me. And I've always loved hip hop and music and rhythm and wordplay, so poetry really spoke to me. Okay. I act on my intuition, I'm on my mission. I tune in, I have a heart to heart, me, myself, and I, uniting with what I love, uniting with what comes natural, uniting my instincts and drive. Deep down, I know I am ready to thrive. I act on my intuition, I'm on my mission. That's it. Yeah, so it comes with the poem inside here, and the color fill for the letters is a close-up photo of the light beam, and then on like the back side, I repeat 3 times. I act on my intuition, I'm on my mission. I act on my intuition, I'm on my mission. I act on my intuition, I'm on my mission. Because I also see these as mantras for ourselves. So I'm really happy. I love them how they came out. And this is the first time I've put like an orb on the front side as well, which I think ties into also us working with the universe. It sort of reminds me of a moon or a planet. And so I love. And that's the thing, I didn't have like a plan before I started it, but once I started creating poems, it's like, how do I want to do this? And it just sort of came together in great alignment with what my work is all about. So
yeah, definitely check those out, because the font on them, it's the fiber, like it's a, how would you say it? Like
yeah, exactly. The fill-in of the letters is a close-up picture of the fibers of the light beam. So there's a lot of like motion in it and variations of colors, so it's very lively.
And they're magnetic, so they're super satisfying to open. I have this been kind of like accordion. Yes, exactly.
You need to add music to it.
Right.
When you open it, like a little
light color, we're getting all of
some hip hop or something to go along with it.
Love it. And Shelly, in your statement, you mentioned that you weave emotions into form. Do you mind elaborating on that?
Yeah, so when I create these paintings, it's very meditative for me because it's very repetitive. I've had a little anxiety and a little OCD throughout my life, and how I came across my tactile, what I do now, is my mom passed away. And I actually didn't paint for a couple years. And then my cat passed away, and then that opened me up to painting again. And so when I came back to it, I wanted something very tactile because I feel like having that texture and having the leaves brings a completely different element, a different emotion than seeing something that's completely flat. And I wanted something that whenever you, just like with the light beams, when you add light to it, it changes. So like depending on how the light hits this, you can see some of the weaves are very glossy, and other weaves are a little bit more matte. And so I just wanted the emotion of like the color and the texture to draw you in and make you feel however you want to feel. I do hear a lot of people whenever I say, oh, I'm an artist. I love making art, and the first thing they say is, I don't know anything about art. Like I always hear that over and over, and I'm like, you do know everything you need to know about art because it's all about how it makes you feel. And that's what I wanted to convey with that.
And even like up close, like from far away, the colors look like they're flat, and then you get up close and you see that like certain threads have more dimension than others. Like they'll have like little stripes of white through them. It's very intricate. And then my last question is for both of you. Is there anything else you'd like for us to know about your art?
Not really about my art, but I just wanted to say that I'm very grateful for all the support that I've gotten from husband, family, friends, gallery owners, gallery directors. You guys have been so supportive in my journey. I'm not sure I would be here without it, so I just wanted to say thank you to everyone.
Yeah, it certainly takes a village, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it
Yeah,
does.
teamwork
But
makes the dream work.
That support, and just like when someone sees your work and they're just like it just makes all the, like I just got chills. It just makes all the difference.
I mean, you're really making me tear up a little bit. I'm like, why am I getting emotional right now?
I'm sorry.
But that's how I feel. That's how I feel about art. I've literally listened. I think we've all done it. We've listened to music, or we've seen a piece that you just like something wells up inside of you. You can't describe it. It's just there.
Yeah, art's not created in a vacuum at all. It's
exactly
everything that you're experiencing is an influence. Absolutely.
Yeah, even if it's something that nobody's like seen before, or they can still connect to it, you know. And I've had people read my poems and like start to tear up before because it reminds them of something or someone, and it's such art is so special, right? And it doesn't happen without the intention of I'm like determined to do this, you know. So it's like this takes a lot of work, a lot of love, a lot of teamwork, you know, and then opportunities. Yeah. So thank you to Rachel giving us this amazing opportunity. And what I love is I'm inspired by like the human connection, diversity of people, and self-reflection and connectivity and positivity, and I feel so grateful to be able to pursue my art, and my parents have been extremely supportive of me throughout my whole career, and then I work at a gallery in Austin, and that has helped fuel me, and I've learned a lot of different skills on the business side as well, and you just never know what's going to happen, you know. I did the other art fair last year here in Dallas, and that's where I met Rachel, and here we are today. So it's like manifestation is a lifestyle, being an artist is a lifestyle, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. So.
And it kind of goes back to what you were saying, how if you're clear with who you are, the universe will kind of clear the path
and
for
people
you.
Admire that.
You have to be very clear on who you are as an artist.
Exactly. Yeah, and people really look up to artists because it is putting yourself out there. And like you said, I mean, you couldn't imagine doing life not creating art, but then people see it and they think, wow, you really did that. You're really putting yourself out there, and we're sort of like, we can't imagine any other way, but it is us expressing ourselves and sharing it with the world.
It's a way to show what you're feeling inside.
Yes,
right?
it's a feeling.
So it's not, I mean, you could talk all day long, but like, how do you really describe exactly what you're feeling? I mean, you can try to convey it, but someone will never really know it.
Yes.
But I feel like with art, it kind of pours out of you.
Yeah, it's like vulnerability as a lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Thank you guys so much. We're going to open it up to y'all's questions if you have any for them. Anything at all.
That was so well said. Everything you guys said was amazing.
I know. Thank you.
Did we touch on the light changing of the beams?
Oh yeah, so I hand wrap these in fiber, and then I have them color changing, and I love it because if somebody just like glances at it, they won't realize it's color changing, and then when they be present and take a moment, they'll be like, oh my gosh, I see the movement of the color. And I love the way the colored light engages with the different colors of fibers, and you'll sort of see it sort of ebb and flow throughout, and that's part of also the energy that I've been talking about in that movement. And as y'all know, growing up, I grew up as an athlete, and then I love to dance. I love music and movement and momentum, and this ebb and flow of the light changing colors through the fibers is all about that. So
Amazing.
I know y'all got questions.
Shelly, I already know the answer, but I love it when you talk about it.
Okay.
You mentioned, little OCD, little kind of this and that, and you actually tie mental health into not just your work itself, but the proceeds of the work when you do sell something. Can you tell a little bit about why that's important to you and how you came to...
Yeah, so, sorry, I might get a little teary. My grandmother had breast cancer, my mom had breast cancer, my sister had breast cancer, and my mom also struggled with mental health issues. And when she passed, it really threw me for a loop, obviously. And then when I came back to this, I've done exhibitions where whenever I sell a piece of art, I'll give to charities. I love giving to Austin Pets Alive, of course, because I'm an animal lover. Love it, love it, love it. And I also give to the breast cancer research for my grandmother, my mom, and everybody. And so giving back is another reason I love doing this, is because even if I had $20 to my name, I'd probably still give to it, just to help out. So that's, I don't know, I feel like if you can pay it forward, if you can get through a lot of trauma in your life, and you come out better on the other side and you manifest. And I will tell you, affirmations help me tremendously through like my time of trauma and anxiety and different things like that. And so, and it's just a testament on how, you know, whatever you say out loud or whatever you think in your mind, you can definitely change your brain pattern and your thoughts, because it's very important. But touching on what you asked, yes, I do love giving to charity. I do think that mental health especially should be talked about more. It's not something that should be swept underneath the rug. So,
And it's common.
and it's very common.
Yeah, exactly.
More common
Yeah.
than most people like to
Yeah.
admit.
Yeah. So,
No, it's interesting because recently I was like, you know, we've all laid in bed and we're thinking about something and can't go to sleep because, you know, it's spinning in your brain. And I was like, I need to think about something else, you know, and I started repeating the titles of all my artworks, which are mantras and manifestations, and it helped me go to sleep, you know,
Yeah.
and I loved that even with, I know what my work is about, and it's, I am my work and my work is me, but I discovered something new where I'm like, wow, this is really a lifestyle where here I am laying in bed and then I just repeated the titles and it helped me. You know what I mean? So yeah, affirmations are
oh yeah,
huge,
affirmations
you
like
know?
really
Yeah.
help me tremendously
Yeah,
through like time of
exactly.
like, you know, sadness and sorrow and healing and, you know,
Stress
all
or,
of,
yeah.
all of it. Yeah, it really does help quite a bit.
There's
So,
definitely power in
Words, yeah.
learning that
Yeah.
you can change your brain through your words.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Exactly.
I had kind of a personal question.
Sure.
I mean, because I read about your history and you spoke about, you know, going through, like you said, your mom dying and blah, blah, blah. And then you didn't do any art at all for a while. And then when you started again, you did this. Didn't you say that previously you had done completely different kind of art?
I did, yeah. I was still doing abstraction. I did abstract work, but it was very flat, very fluid, very organic. I started that in 2017, I want to say, yeah. And absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved abstraction. But when, you know, I think whenever you go through trauma, I just wanted something completely new, something completely fresh, and I kind of touched upon a little bit of the, you know, tactile, textural, but it just didn't come to me the way it did whenever I picked it back up. It was almost like I knew exactly what to do and how to use the, you know, the tools. My grandmother was a baker for 27 years, and the first time I ever piped a flower was with her, with icing, of course, not paint, but you know. And so when I came back to it, I think I had more of a desire to connect back to my heritage and my family, and that's why a lot of this looks a little bit like, you know, the Bauhaus movement, you know, the German movement. I just absolutely love that, but I wanted to kind of bring that into the 21st century as far as like with the materials that we have now. But yeah, I actually started with flowers. The tactile part of it was flowers, because that was really giving me, you know, flowers always make you happy. You know, especially flowers that don't die. You know, when you have it in a painting, they always make you happy. They, you know, they're very vibrant, and I just needed like color and vibrant and life. And then that really transitioned into what I'm doing now. It was very intuitional with the woven pattern. I hadn't really, you know, it's hard to like go on Instagram and not see something, you know.
Sure.
I've never seen anything like that had come to me on like anywhere. And it, like I said, it was very meditative, because the way I do it is actually with piping bags that my grandmother used. So
That's the next question.
yeah, I do it with piping bags. So
That's cool.
yeah, so yeah, it was just a natural progression. And who knows, maybe next year will be something else.
Yeah, but there's a lot of history. Yeah,
Right.
when I read your story and then I saw your work, I was like, wow, there's a lot of history in your work.
Yeah, yes, there is, yeah.
And I love hearing the connection with your grandmother. I am very fortunate to have a lot of great women in my life. My mom, my aunt, you know, more family right here with women, and then some great friends of mine are very strong women, and it influences us.
Yeah.
And as women, it's important to have women that we look up to, support us, and inspire us. So I love that.
100%.
Yeah.
We need more of it.
Yes.
We need more of it.
More community.
That's right.
Anyone else? Or we... All right. right, well then we will move these chairs out of the way so you guys can get a closer look and y'all enjoy yourselves. We'll turn on some music and have some fun.
Oh, we have refreshments over here as well. We're gonna open it up.